All right, so we're taking a look here at a hole in the wall. If you take a look over here, I do have one of the mirrors installed. These are a recessed mirror that are going to go into the wall there. And just be a nice little medicine cabinet here. You can open it up, see some of the stuff in there. Basically what I'll be doing now is framing it out, but just wanted to show everyone first, measured everything out. So wife and I did a measuring on all the spaces that we wanted to have between kind of the edge of our vanity here, from the bottom and kind of up to the top on the light fixture. You can see we've been doing some work in here on the bathroom. So the spacing was something important that we wanted to take a look at. You can see here we removed, erased some of the pencil marks. And basically what we did was once it was measured out, again, just taped it off, measured the sides of the mirror itself, and then cut it out using this kind of cut off circulating tool there from Ryobi. And again, a lot of different brands make those, but it was super helpful to be able to cut through, and definitely would recommend one. They're not super expensive, especially, if you have some of the batteries already, definitely worth picking up one to make the job much, much easier. And that's also where some of it came in. It was also super important to use that. I use it here on the side. As you can see, the stud was just kind of slightly in the way here. It wasn't maybe perfectly straight because it seemed like the bottom part I had to cut off more, and basically just, almost was able to kind of get away without really cutting much of anything there at the top, but a little bit more at the bottom. The other mirror too, there was a stud in there that I actually had to cut. It was kind of right in the middle, so I had to use the cutoff tool, chop here, and then pull that stud out. So you will have to be aware of that as you go through. Definitely recommend one of those though for this kind of work. And kind of as you saw with the light fixture there, there was some other work on the other side of the wall for another light that got put in. So this wire here is actually new in the wall when they did the work. Of course, kind of planned this out so that we had the wires here, or the space open for the electricians to be able to come through and cut out the wires. Unfortunately, what I did notice is that previously this wire, you can kind of see here, there's that staple there. I wasn't able to pull it out of the wall, so I used a Dremel on it. And I had a smaller one here. It's probably not quite as secure as the other one, but it's out of the way, and it's gonna, seems like it's gonna hold it there. So basically what happens is when you put the mirror in, there's two holes. It's about 2 inches down. You can see I've made a mark here and here, and it's gonna drill right in, kind of into the middle of the stud. And the way this wire was before, kind of right in here, it was basically right in the spot where the, where that screw was going to need to go. So we just had to get that wire out of the way to be able to get that anchored and screwed in. So what we're going to do now is we're going to frame this out. So obviously this side is already framed with the stud being here. This side, I think I'm not going to try and do anything extra other than get a little bit longer screw than what's provided and drill into this stud here, since it's essentially almost right there at the edge, and it would be a real kind of pain to have to try and cut down a stud to really frame that up like exactly flush. So the main piece that's going to go in here is on the bottom. So I've already got a piece actually cut and measured out. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here too, and then you can we'll kind of show you back how that looks here in just a moment.